Book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, verse 2, again, thou shalt say to the children of Israel, whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Israel, that giveth any of his seed unto Molech, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. Verse 3, and I will set my face against that man, and I will cut him off from among his people, because he hath given of his seed unto Molech, to defile my sanctuary, and to profane my holy name. Verse 4, and if the people of the land do any ways hide their eyes from the man, when he giveth of his seed unto Molech, and kill him not. Verse 5, then I will set my face against that man, and against his family, and will cut him off, and all that go a whoring after him to commit whoredom with Molech from among the people. Verse 6, and the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits, and after wizards, to go a whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory. Kol halal la Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua Waha Racha Kodash Brakatham. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity, risking their lives and the freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, to edifying video. Shalom to the confusion of face brethren joining into our ranks. Once again, it's the brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson out of this book, Mass Control, Engineering, Human Consciousness by Jim Keith. Another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And I guess I'm just going to jump right in. I don't know exactly where I stopped at. I know I was on page 120, so I'm going to start there. Because basically, like I said, Israel has committed a lot of whoredoms. Israel, because I know Israelites that, practice the customs of the heathen, and it tells you nothing new was under the sun. It shows you in scripture that how we went off, you know what I mean? But that was more so the heathen, because we are supposed to serve the true power. But Israel has been so, such sottish children, because, at the end of the day, we wanted to follow after the customs and the ways of the heathen so much, like the heathen had a king. That's the spirit, because we were just talking about it. I was with a couple of the younger brothers, and they was talking about, the dukes of Edom and whatnot, and and to this day, those Edomites or Idumeans, they still have dukes and duchesses and whatnot, and and they had kings. Our king's supposed to have been, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. He is, but we wanted to follow suit after the heathen, and basically, it's nothing new under the sun, because like I said, at the end of the day, you're going to have Israelites that follow the true living power, and you're going to have Israelites that succumb to, wanting to be like the heathen, and, somebody got to be the 2/3. Without further ado, I'm starting at page 120. It says, it is alleged that one of Jones's earliest sources of financing for his work was Rabbi Maurice Davis, who provided him a church in Indianapolis. Davis was on the board of the American Family Foundation, the founding group for the Occult Awareness Network, and worked as a chaplain at the National Institute for Mental Health's infamous Lexington Addiction Research Center, where MK Ultra research had been done. I believe I've read this, but I'm gonna bring it back out, just not to I don't want to confuse anybody. It's probably a few pages. Jones moved his growing fellowship to, I did read all this, Ukiah, California, where reports from the disaffected from his group said that behavior modification experiments were performed on the congregation, according to the People's Temple Research, Michael Myers. Bear with me for a second. It seems like this scripture comes out each week out of this book, because at the end of the day, it is in the power in their hands. Who has this power to do this? I mean, these people, like it says, they were running experiments, MK Ultra experiments and research. It tells you they had behavior modification experiments were performed on the congregation. So Jones's congregation actually was getting experimented on. This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hand. And then, you go to verse 2, and this is talking about specific people. You know, many times in history, you had people that expanded their territory and took land, but none like this red Hebrew Edomite. Verse 2, and they covet fields and take them by violence and houses, and they take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, and even a man his heritage. These are the only people that don't want to admit to whom they truly are. They everybody but who they are. The Last Samurai. I was watching some show my demon was talking about. And I'm watching it. It was so old. Kurt Russell was in it, and Kurt Russell was dressed up in Indian garb, but Kurt Russell was an Edomite. Well, from the outward appearance, he appears to be an Edomite. Don't know him personally, haven't had a chance to gauge his spirit. But the point being, on that same show, there was no Gadites or Reubenites. It was none of, it wasn't any Native Americans. Oh, Salakia, when Indian means savage, and this wasn't the Americans back then. There was none of our brethren, that looked like us on there. It was all Edomites. I think I think one of the guys went so far as to have blonde hair. I can't recall. I don't want to bear false witness either. Continue. It says early temple experiments and sensory deprivation are not well documented, but it's known that Jones imparted his expertise to Donald DeFreeze, who utilized the technique to brainwash Patricia Hearst. I read this. I'm going to skip. In 1971, the People's Temple relocated to San Francisco, where Jones and many of his followers are said to have smoothly integrated as part of Jerry Brown's political machine. Jones became the head of the San Francisco Housing Commission and used the city welfare department to recruit members for the People's Temple. Among the most important of Jones's supporters were the Lawton family, whose head, Dr. Lawrence Lard Lawton, had relocated to America from Germany after World War II. Lawton had worked on the Manhattan Project and was chief of chemical ecological warfare at Dungway Proving Grounds in Utah, where Army LSD research was carried out. Layton's wife Eva had worked for the CIA at Berkeley University. According to Dr. Colin Ross, her job at the library was to keep track of all the left-wing literature taken out of the library and the names of the people who took those books out and report that to the CIA. Another home for Jones's flock was set up in Guyana at the former site of the Shalom Project, allegedly a CIA training camp for guerrillas to be used in operations in Angola between 1973 and 1975. Jones received assistance from the U.S. Embassy in Georgetown, Guyana, which was also the headquarters for the CIA in that area. It has been alleged that all of the members of the embassy in Georgetown were agents of the CIA. At Jonestown, children were kept in line with electric cattle prods. When Congressman Leo Ryan attempted to investigate Jonestown, members of the U.S. Embassy attempted to prevent him. This was finally left up to Jones's followers. The Jonestown deaths were the ultimate in assisted suicides. According to the sophisticated pathologists in Guyana, 80 to 90% of the victims had fresh needle marks on their bodies. Other victims had been shot or strangled. Orders were sent to U.S. military officials by an aide to National Security Advisor Zim Beniguig Brzezinski to remove all political sensitive papers and forms of identification from the bodies. Now this is so much spirit to show you how demonic these fucking people is. Anytime they speak on Jonestown, even when they portray it in the movies or when they showed the movie, they showed you all them people drinking poison Kool-Aid. When have you ever heard them talk about people had needle marks or was shot? It's showing you that Esau is a liar and the devil, you know what I mean? I'm gonna stop here.